guys, how's it going? Welcome to this week's recap video. It's been a big day around here. Samantha Grace lost her very first tooth this morning. Right on the bottom, in the center. I ran out and got donuts as celebration. She's already lost the tooth.
It's gone.
Hopefully it surfaces somewhere. I put it in a little baggie and everything this morning saying, like, let's protect it. Don't lose it because we need to put it under your pillow tonight.
It's gone.
We're going to have to do like, sorry, tooth fairy, lost the tooth, sort of a note situation today at some point.
I already told her that I don't think the tooth fairy gives any money for...
That's such a dad thing to say.
No.
Let's teach responsibility in this moment. She's also, as of this week, reading 3-letter words.
Oh,
I
like
know.
bus?
Yeah, and cat and sat and set and mud. She thinks that's a good one. And nut.
Nut.
Yeah.
I tell her she's a nut.
Yeah, so she thinks that's a pretty funny one. Anyway, you guys, we are running a giveaway. 2 different ways to enter. The giveaway prize is one of our bundles from our website. So I actually just learned that we're putting together all of these really cool bundles, and I looked through all of them this morning, and it's just like bundling some of our favorite things or things that we use a lot together. So the bundle that we are going to be giving away is called Heart of Summer, and what it includes is a kneeling pad, a pair of gloves, a pair of snips, and a t-shirt. So it does come with the heart-shaped like Heart of Summer t-shirt. Mm-hmm. If you are a guy who wins it and doesn't want the Heart of Summer t-shirt, we can swap it out for a regular Garden Answer t-shirt. We can work with you there. But 2 ways to enter. 5 winners we're going to pick just from the comment section of this video. Mm-hmm. So just comment below. That's all you have to do. We will pick 5 random winners and announce them in next week's recap video. And the other 5 winners are going to come from our Garden Answer store email list. So if you are already part of the email list, then you're good to go. You're already entered. And if you want to join the email list, you can click the link that we will put down below. Mm-hmm. That will take you there. And that's all you have to do is sign up for the email list. But I wanted to make sure that there was a way that you didn't have to sign up for anything. If you don't want to, if you just want to comment below this video to be entered to win, then great. But if you do both,
double your chances.
You double your chances. In the email list, they send out information from time to time on other giveaways that are just going to be exclusive to the email list. Also new stuff. We've got 2 new things coming up very soon that are exclusive. Like, we created these things. I'm so excited about them. Anyway, we're really, really close.
How close do you think?
Like, really close.
Like
all
within...
oh my gosh. One of these things, well, both of them have had several revisions, several tweaks, several, all that kind of stuff. And so now we just, I think Ken's placed the orders. We just got to get them landed. Anyway, I'm excited about that. And I think the email list will be the first to know about it.
Oh.
Anyway, that's it. Oh, be aware of scammers as well. I always have to put that out there whenever we do a giveaway. In fact, I would have talked about it in our bulb giveaway video. We've got that giveaway going on as well for Color Blends gift cards. Our accounts, so the YouTube account has a little gray check mark. Our Facebook has a little blue check mark. And I don't know on Instagram, do we have a blue check mark?
This is not through Facebook. Or Instagram.
It's all YouTube.
So if you get a message through Facebook or Instagram, it's not legit.
Right. But yeah, well, just so you know, though, all of ours have check marks after them.
Yeah.
And the scammers look really convincing these days.
Yeah.
At a glance, at least. If you don't do any, investigation.
Also, we'll never ask for money. We'll never ask for credit card, which the scammers always do.
Yeah.
They always want you to pay for shipping. Give me your credit card number to pay for shipping or something. Mm-hmm. We will never do that. Shipping is always on us.
Yeah. Anywho, I think that's it. So we're going to jump into the videos from this past week. The first one was planting 10 rugosa roses. And that project, I thought it was going to be fast. But it ended up taking a little while because I wanted to place these roses in just the right spots because I want them to get to their full size. And there's a lot of different varieties of rugosas out there. I've got some that stay smaller, and I think they're called Seaside Swirl or Seaside Pink, something like that. They stay 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, but the ones that I planted, which were the Alba, one that has a French sounding or looking name that I can't pronounce. It's a double white, and then just a regular rugosa rose. They can get upwards of 6 to 8 feet tall and 5 to 6 feet wide. And I wanted to place them somewhere where they could do that, where I don't have to worry about pruning on them because they are full of thorns, but they get the biggest rose hips. They are gorgeous for fall and winter interest and for creating wreaths and garlands and things like that. They're wonderful for arrangements. So we just took our time and placed some stuff around. You brought out that weeping Alaskan cedar as well and popped it in between 2 of them. We still haven't planted that yet. Yeah. We'll get to it. Lisa said, what kind of camera do you use? I must say I'm very impressed with how steady you keep it while walking and driving the gator. It's a GoPro. 13?
whatever the newest one is.
I think that's the one we have. I don't know if
Well, we have the GoPro 10,
11, 12.
11, 12.
Yeah.
But I usually, whenever a new one comes out, I try to give you the new one. It's like you break.
I haven't broke a camera in a while.
Well,
I scratched the lens, but it's like a lens cover. I didn't ruin the camera.
yeah, those are easily replaceable, which is nice.
I think it's been a year since I have actually like pulverized or smashed. That's the bobcat. A camera. Paul's been out mowing around the dirt lands, mowing down weeds out there this morning.
Well, but the point is that if you break one camera per year, I buy about one per year.
Sure.
Maybe two.
Sure. Fluffy said you have such beautiful garden rooms. Oh, I'm so happy you think I have rooms. That is what I'm going for in the end. But when you start from a like blank slate, like negative,
Like beyond a blank slate.
yeah, that is tough, and it takes a long time. So I'm glad that it's starting to look like that. Do you have the capability to choose one of those rooms and do an AI rendition of what that room might look like in 10 years? It'd be fun to see what one little area would grow into.
Oh, I'm sure. I wonder, I should try that with, I know you can like just submit a photo.
Uh-huh.
And I could ask ChatGPT.
I have not. I don't even know what it would look like to ask ChatGPT anything. I've never used it.
Pretty easy.
Is it?
Yeah. For the good ones that actually give you like good photos and stuff like that, you usually have to pay for.
Oh.
But yeah.
That would be interesting.
We should try it.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we should do? I have seen people advertise where they'll do designs.
Uh-huh.
We should see what they say for the front.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's a pretty backed up shot because it's a large area.
It
So I
is.
wonder what it would do with that. That'd be interesting.
That would be. S.A. Hamill said, Laura, at your formal entrance, are you blocking what looks like a camera with the Alaskan cedar? We were, and it's no longer there. The camera's gone. Fence is gone. As of right now.
I have to move the cameras around a lot, actually.
All the time. In fact, when you brought it out, I said, I don't know, what do you think? It's going to block a camera? And you were like,
We'll just
doesn't
move
even
it.
make a difference. Like, just
Yeah.
do what you want that makes sense with the plants, and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is nice, because then it doesn't like constrict.
Sure.
I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, a lot of the cameras that we have around our property, like plants grow so fast.
Uh-huh.
Like right now, there's one camera where lilacs are getting pretty close.
Those aren't supposed to get that big.
Are they
ones-
President Lincoln?
The ones at the end of by the parking area?
Yeah.
No, those are like tiny dancers or something like that.
really?
They're supposed to be, well, let me look. How big do you think they are right now?
I would say they're 5 to 6 feet tall right now.
They're supposed to be 4 to 5 feet tall and 3 to 4 wide. And that's
Okay.
why I planted them there, because they were only supposed to get,
Okay.
I thought 5 feet they would cap.
I've got another camera where some North Pole arborvitaes are
About ready to block
like
it.
when we put the camera there, the North Poles were way smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I kind of knew like one day I'll have to move this camera, but
Mm-hmm.
for now this is a good spot.
Right. Carol said, how long do you walk around with dirt in your shoes?
All day.
All day. I'm kind of used to it. I do have one pair, though, that the dirt has kind of compacted right in front of where my toes go.
That's
and
insane.
And it kind of made my shoes a little shorter, and they kind of hurt to wear, but I still wear them. I need to get new shoes, you guys.
Doesn't it turn into mud? Like, don't they get...
No, my feet don't sweat.
Really?
Like, no.
That's weird.
No, I never. It's always loose, puffy soil. I don't like, I mean...
I've seen it come out. It's always
Yeah,
dusty.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have like an abundant amount of moisture in my shoes, thankfully. Maine said, did your winter sown rose seeds ever become anything? No, they didn't. So I had the winter sowing container full of those seeds, and thankfully my parents bought those for me for Christmas, and they bought me 2 packets because they knew that it was going to be kind of an experiment, and so I only used 1 packet. And I think I'll try sowing them just like traditionally, not winter sowing, this next time around, because I had 2 of them come up. Like I could see the little green shoots, and then they just stayed there. The green shoots just stayed. They never did anything. And eventually they finally went away. I think that they just kind of started to pop out of their shell, and they never really formed any kind of a good enough root system to get going. Happily Retired said, in the area just mulched beside the play area, will you bring in some boulders?
Will we?
I don't know. I think we talked about it.
Boulders are not that common around here. Like,
But I mean, it would tie into the dream stream
it would.
area.
It would.
There are a couple of spots. I think even if we did it along the exterior, so it kind of looked like a cohesive thing.
Yeah.
Where it would be nice.
They're just, I don't know. It feels like rocks are so expensive, especially here locally, to get good sized rocks. it's not on my radar. It's not something that I think, oh, I mean, I have from time to time thought like, oh, we could put a rock here or there, but the amount of effort it takes to go get a rock.
And then you have to dig a pretty sizable hole too. Yeah. Because you have to sink that rock in.
Yeah. I mean, we can move stuff around with the tractor, but I think it can do like 5,000 pounds, which is a pretty good size rock.
Well, we could pick a spot and pick a rock and have Clint use his thing to set it in place.
Yeah.
I don't know how far that reaches.
But we kind of can't because there's not enough room anymore to get a truck like that.
I think you could do something along the exterior within reason. Definitely not further in, like by the rock wall.
No, I know, but I don't even really think that you could get your truck back there without running over some of the brick edging or...
Nobody would run over the brick edging. Nobody runs over that brick edging, Aaron.
Somebody ran over the brick edging a couple days ago, and I checked the camera, and I thought about texting you when I saw that you were the one that did it, but I didn't.
I knew I was doing it as I did it, and I just thought, I don't even care. I don't even care, because those are the bricks that I fixed them. And I knew, like, I set them down. They weren't done by, like, a professional.
Sure,
and they're they don't have the binding sand. They don't have concrete around them.
Yeah.
I can just fix them. I thought I went around wide enough with that trailer.
Well,
I had a long trailer on the back of the truck.
You told me, you were like, I swung wide. And I was like, well, I watched the camera. You didn't.
I thought I did. Anyway. And I saw it. I was like, oh, yep, there we go. Just ran over those bricks. Yeah. And when you do it and you know you're going to be the one who fixes it, like...
Who cares?
So what?
So what? Who cares? Who cares? So what?
Carson said those rose hips look like tomatoes. Also, I haven't seen you use purple found grasses recently. Is there a reason? I do have a few. I've got 2 in the dumpster containers, and then I've got 7, 8, 9 of them, something like that, out in the south garden, sort of near the berry beds where I planted all that Vista bubblegum. It looks gorgeous. So pretty. I kind of stopped using it in summer containers as much because by the end of the season it gets so big and kind of unruly that it starts flopping over the flowers and it kind of starts to lose its plumes and looks kind of messy. And I just thought, oh, I don't know if I really want to do that in containers for a while. I just kind of get out of the mood of using it. They look great though in the dumpster containers up to this point, and in the ground they're awesome. I also planted one in front of the chicken coop. It's kind of getting gobbled up by those dahlias. So dahlias are like...
Yeah.
Oh, they're so great. Spoony Poon said you planted that rose in full shade. Will it grow right? Well, it was in shade when I planted it, but I did mention in the video that area comes into more sun as the day goes on. So it should be okay. As long as it gets a block of like 6 to 8 hours, you're good. Rolly Rickard said, how deep do you put that mulch? Usually a couple inches, inch to 2 inches or so. It's got to be enough to cover drip tubing usually, and Paul does a good job with the drip. Like when he goes through, he tries to bury drip for the most part, unless he's in a huge hurry. Like recently, I've planted some things toward the end of a day, like last week, it was a Friday, and I was done at like, 2 in the afternoon, and he leaves usually around 4. And I sent him pictures and just said, these need drip. Because he usually comes behind and runs drip to everything. And I just said, doesn't need to be done right now. I can water him over the weekend. But he ran drip to him really quick so that I didn't have to water him. But he just runs it right on top of the mulch. And he'll come back through and bury it. But if you don't do enough mulch on top of the tubing, when the water goes through it, it kind of shakes. And it just kind of shakes the mulch off the top of it. And eventually you start seeing it surface. And I don't love that look. I like them to be underneath.
Tell you what, though, sometimes having the drip, when you're initially putting a drip system in, you should absolutely do it on top so that you can monitor how it looks for a while. And then once you're comfortable with the amount of water things are getting, then you can cover it.
Yeah,
because sometimes the water doesn't really make its way to the surface and you can't tell.
You're like, did that even get drip? I don't even know.
Yeah.
You have to investigate.
Yeah, you have to dig a little bit.
Yeah. Kathy said, did you ever get your Sutton irises? I got the 9 I ordered and they sent 3 free beautiful ones. I have them all planted. They arrived so well and it was fun opening them. I just ordered ones that smelled good and were repeat bloomers. Have one set aside for a friend. Have you got your order in too, or did you opt for an August arrival date? I haven't got my order yet, but I did get an email from them last week and she wondered if she could swap one of the varieties because the crop, one of the varieties I'd chosen, which there was like 30 some varieties, came in a little small, and so they didn't want to send any of those out. So I just told them swap it with whatever you want and surprise me. So I'm guessing that my order will arrive here pretty soon. Next video was seeding spinach, peas, and sunflowers for fall, all of which are up at this point, or mostly up. The Autumn Beauty sunflowers, which I've had those seeds for a long time, are a little sparse. I might go throw some more seed out or just see what happens and then replenish my seed with fresh for next year. And then unboxing a new load of shrubs. So Proven Winners Color Choice had sent out a new load of stuff, mostly boxwoods, but there were a few other things in there, some aronia, some sublime hydrangeas that I've been needing, some yews, some other hydrangeas. It was a really pretty load. Catherine said, what are the onions like if they are pulled a little early?
Just small?
Yeah, smaller. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they taste a little better when you give them a chance to soak in all that energy. I don't know if like it works the same where sugars kind of condense or are drawn into the bulb. But I feel like...
Do you have to make sure to cut water?
No. Oh. Not on onions. I've only ever heard that for...
Watermelon?
Watermelon, basically. Yeah, I don't cut water to really anything until I'm done harvesting it. Yeah. Wendy said, just wondering, do you guys have jumping worms in your gardens? We do not. Nope. I don't know how close they are to our area, but we don't have them. Julia said, have you ever considered doing an experiment comparing no biotone starter fertilizer versus not? Not really. I've never really thought about doing that.
Yeah. You know what? Those kinds of things are so hard because, we plant things. Okay. So here's an example. We planted those 3 locust trees and one of them is struggling. Yeah. And we did the same thing for all of them. Right. And sometimes things just don't react. I don't know that we would really get like a conclusive answer. Thing because, we put biotone in all 3 of those locust holes and one of them, they get it's the same zone, same water. I mean, they're within 30 feet of each other. So I would think the soil composition should be similar.
Yeah. I think they're closer than that.
They probably are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't know how you do that to where you would feel confident that the results that you're getting are accurate.
Right.
So
I don't know. Running experiments, we always think, we're going to do a bunch of different pots with the same flower.
We stop caring.
I know. I just don't care. Yeah. I feel like we've used the biotone with such great luck. Our stuff does really well that it's just a habit. Yeah. And it feels like a good one. So we just continue on.
We'll just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe it does nothing, but we'll just pretend it does.
Julie Dalton said, when will you plant onions and garlic again? Is it October? It's exciting that there's still time to plant before the season's over. Yay. Thank you for your insightful videos always. I will plant garlic usually in October, around there sometimes. Sometimes it's November, sometimes it's December when I get them in the ground. And it's different for every area, but we usually like to get them in sometime in the fall. And sometimes the garlic will come up and it will be like green shoots and it'll go through winter looking like that. And then it'll pick up and start growing again in the spring. For onions, bulbing type onions, we don't plant again, but you can plant a crop of green onions and you can usually get a good crop of those going for fall at this point of the season. I'm Durmax said, hi, can you recommend shrubs or mini trees for a full shade porch? Full shade porch. For us, full shade trees.
Mini trees would be like Japanese maples.
Yeah. Any kind of house plant, basically.
Do Japanese maples grow in other areas like ours in like mostly shade? They just don't color up the same, right?
Yeah, right. They're not as vibrant. Most of the time, I mean, the tags all say they want full sun. Yeah. They would never survive our full sun. And our shade, like our full shade, is bright. Yeah. Like it's bright. We don't have any deep shade around here. Like at all, I don't think. I mean, the deepest shade I think you could maybe consider is underneath the maple tree by our back shade porch. And even that's super bright and stuff like kind of struggles. Yeah. Denise said, I noticed that you always separate the onions when you harvest them. Is there a difference in taste and do you use different types for different dishes? The only reason why I separate them is just to monitor their storage quality and how long they store for. I don't know why, because I continue to grow the same exact onions every single year. But sometimes, and my dad and I always like to talk about it, because they have a root cellar too. In fact, we modeled our root cellar after their root cellar that they had put into one of their barns. And it was nice to have that template to work from for sure. So they store their produce as well. And so we're always like, how are your candies doing? Yeah. And we're able to grow a lot. Like we grow a lot more of potatoes and onions than they do. And so and they've got, I think, some nematodes in their potatoes this year. So they're going to be growing a cover crop, a mustard cover crop. And I'm going to be giving them a lot of ours so they can have some in their root cellar as well, which is perfect. Like if we split our harvest, they can have half our potatoes and we'll keep half and everyone's good. Yeah. BB Pasty said, I'm so curious why you choose boxwoods over any other type of hedging. Are they easier to care for than most, or just a fan of how they look? You guys love them so much. We got one as an accent shrub to try it out. You know, they're the most versatile for us. They handle our zone. They can handle full shade, not deep shade, but full shade all the way up to full sun without like showing a difference really in growth. And it's a twice a year shearing, so it's really not that much maintenance in the grand scheme. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what else really is there that compares to boxwood, because
people use yews a lot.
Yeah, we don't have as good a luck with yews.
No, we really don't. It's not as consistent.
We had a lot
are
of
tough.
Privets when we moved in,
yeah.
and that's not evergreen.
No.
And they grow like crazy. It's like it feels like during the summer, it's like every 2 weeks you got to trim it. So I don't feel like that's really comparable.
They look ugly in the winter, and then when their leaves fall, they fall into the center of the shrub. So if you think you have a mite problem, wait until you have privet crap that they can overwinter in that you can't get to.
Well, you could blow it out.
Not all of it, though. It's so thick. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I remember just being so frustrated. I'm like, I can't even take care of the problem because I can't get to it. I can't get all of that debris out. And insects winter over in that. Like, good ones do too, but all the bad ones do as well.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, waiting to clean out your flower beds until it's over 50. We talk about that every year. Like, you're perpetuating bad stuff as well as good stuff. So you have to try to figure out the balance there for yourself. I just say do it when your schedule allows you to do it. But anyway, I don't know what else evergreen wise. I mean, you could use junipers. You could use cypress, like Leyland cypress style. I've seen people use stuff like that.
For low hedges?
Not for low hedges.
Because there's big hedges and little hedges, and I feel like boxwood is absolutely in the little hedge category.
Yeah, and it doesn't tend to, sometimes it can, if you prune it at the wrong time, like right after it heats up, or right before you have a cold snap, you can get some damage on the tips. But if you time it right, usually they don't have a tremendous amount of tip damage, and they still look good cut. And a lot of leaves don't do that. A lot of leaves will look pretty bad. Like that cut edge will really brown up, and you can see it if there's a lot of them. So boxwoods are pretty good about hiding that. Sharon said, can't wait to see your new shrubs. We love artichoke. Do you use seeds or a plant? So I grew those from seed. I start those in January, and then we popped them out pretty late this year, and we've got such an amazing crop of them out there. They're so pretty. Maria said, just wondering what are yews? I've often heard you say this and have always wondered what you mean. Inquiring minds want to know it. So it's a U-Y-E-W. What is that, a taxus? Is that the botanical name?
I don't know. Does it matter?
Well, it might to somebody. Yeah, taxus. There's different kinds. Taxus baccata, Taxus hicksii, Taxus densiformis, Taxus brevifolia, Taxus hybrid media. There's a lot of them out there, but YEU, and they are an evergreen, and they're more of a needle than a broadleaf like a boxwood. But they are used a lot in more mild climates as hedging. I think it's just a little bit too harsh here to get any kind of uniform results that are consistent and that you can depend on. Crystal said, where do you get your plants shipped from? I order proven winners from another nursery, and they look just like death by the time I receive them, and oftentimes they don't survive. So ours come from Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs, which is Spring Meadow Nursery in Michigan. It's the home of Proven Winners shrubs, and they send us out a load of shrubs from time to time, and they'll send us out like the new stuff that's coming up.
They'll help us source things sometimes.
Yeah.
So either if they've got it and can ship it to us, then they'll do that. But sometimes we've contacted them and they said, oh, you can get it from, because they know where they're shipping stuff to, because they ship like probably plugs to people to grow on.
Yeah.
Like to other growers, and then those growers grow on.
Yeah.
So they know what generally is out there. So yeah, either it comes from them or they'll like find a place.
So what are a couple of good online resources for shrubs
online?
like that?
I've seen greatgardenplants.com. I don't really know if that's Spring Meadow or not.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that one too, being good in Garden Crossings, and I think they do shrubs too, Garden Crossings.
Do they?
Yeah, because they sent us out roses, remember? They sent us out all the sizes of roses at that one time.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like a special thing
I don't know either, but I know they ship stuff.
I know that they do annuals for sure.
Yeah, and because we have had some stuff from them that has showed up beautifully, and it came all the way from Michigan to Oregon. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Next video was cleaning the big fountain and setting out plants for the entrance garden. Okay, so I tackled the big fountain in the middle of our formal flower garden.
I just want to make sure that people understand when we're getting plants, or like when we get an order from Walla Walla or from Spring Meadow or whatever, it's not like an online order. Like, it's more like ordering as a grower or as a retailer.
As a garden center.
As a garden center.
Yeah.
Because we're more in that category. So like we're ordering it as a business, not ordering it as an individual.
Like a retail consumer.
So pricing is different. There's like wholesale pricing and stuff like that. So we're not in like the individual category. I want to make sure people get that.
I think they do.
Yeah. As an individual. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that in there.
Okay. So anywho, I was in the formal flower garden cleaning out the big fountain and it was bad. It looked like pea soup and it looked stunning when I was done. I think it looked so good. There were a few spots. It did look good. There were a few spots I missed, but overall it looked so much better and it felt so satisfying. I showed you that transfer pump again, which is...
You like that?
Yes. And I think my parents need to have one of those down at the garden center. I don't know that they do. They're still doing the shop vac. And maybe they can't shoot water out, I guess, maybe like we can. But when they're cleaning out bigger fountains...
Well, you can just put it in...
Like water the plants around.
Yeah, you can just stick a hose. It's just like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch poly pipe.
Paul had that like adapter hooked on there. And that was so you could hook a hose up to it. And I didn't mention that.
Yeah, so like water your plants. Or, I mean, you water the grass, but... Yeah. Just water whatever.
I think it's so cool. And then Erin helped me set out some plants by the entrance garden. And we kind of talked through a bunch of different options for that. And it's evolved even since then. We have more plants on order that'll hopefully come here in the next week or two to finish up that display. Because I think in order to actually plant, we're going to have everything there. Because I think we're going to shift and evolve the plans even more. Like we kind of have a general idea of how it's going to go. But
have you said in any videos?
Yeah, I showed my sketch.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's changed even a little bit since then.
Did that include the arbs?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think we might move that whole thing forward, maybe, and have the arbs come off of the brick pillars.
I feel like that might be the best.
It might be, but again, I just don't know until we get them here and we can see how it all looks. I'm so visual.
Having a tall hedge of arbs, because we can top them. We can top the arbs at like 6 feet or 8 feet or whatever we want.
Right. And that was my thought when we put them in line with the maples. I thought we could do really cool, like start them like lower and kind of have them go up and then like that. So it accommodates the maple kind of canopy a little bit. Yeah. And you can kind of shave off more every year as the maple gets bigger. So that might be what we do. I don't know, but it was just kind of a necessary step and we just brought you along for it. It was a lot of conversation, and then I ended up, like we had 2 different options. Neither of us could settle on one of them. So I called my mom and I FaceTimed her and I showed her without telling, like you were kind of leaning one way. I was kind of leaning the other, but we weren't like solid in it. Anyway, so I didn't give her any idea of whose side was whose. And I just showed her both and then she gave her opinions. And anyway,
I still wonder though, if we need boxwoods lining the driveway at some point.
I mean, I am a fan of a boxwood hedge anywhere, but I was thinking about that, and I think we'd have to stop it so abruptly on the left side for the male hut.
Sure.
Because we have to have a pathway that leads up to that it would seem like too shallow.
I don't know, though. It doesn't need to match on both sides. You could have them...
we're moving toward that even more now since this video.
I don't know. I've seen, when you look online, especially formal gardens anywhere, they accommodate for random things. And it's like it's a design, except for you've got this one thing and then they incorporate that into the formality and it works because you've got enough things that are similar that it doesn't even bother you that this one they've accommodated for this one thing.
I did order more boxwoods, more new gens, just in case we decide to do something like that. Because we'll use them somewhere else.
For different ones. You were using
I had the Independence up there, and I think we're going to put the Freedoms up there because they get about a foot taller. Yeah. And that'll give us a little more flex.
Because you were saying that it caps out at 3x3.
Yeah, for the Independence.
Which means that you would end up trimming it down to like 2 or 2.5
to get a really tight sphere.
Yeah.
And that would mean the rest of the hedge would have to be even lower than that.
Yeah.
Which would not be big enough.
No.
Anyway. Yeah, we're still fleshing this out. We'll get there.
It'll look nice in the end. Just give it a couple years and we'll figure out the design. It'll look good.
And I also thought about different types of grasses to put up there because we thought about putting a great big like statement grass, and I ordered 4 or 5 different kinds. too, because we'll use them out in the dirt lands. Anything that gets big and showy, we'll use. And we've been wanting to add more grasses around anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be perfect. Okay, Heather said, I love the boxwood and hydrangea combo. I have bobo hydrangeas that always flop late July. I thought if I pruned them way back in early spring, that would keep the stems stronger. No luck. Do you have any suggestions on keeping the stems strong throughout the summer? I have learned so much from watching your videos. The only thing I can think of is that they're probably not getting enough light. Is that possible? I don't know where you've got them planted, but if they're not getting enough light, they will tend to be weaker. I would think that you took the right approach in pruning them back, and they say to only prune back by about a third. So if you went down lower than that, that can also produce branches that are a little bit too long and a little bit weaker. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, check those couple of things. Maybe check the amount that you're pruning and check the light on those. Celtic Dancer Sue said, would using a bit of wading pool chlorine work for the fountains from time to time? What was it that you're putting in the fountains? It's the algicide. Algicide, not algifix.
Whatever
algicide.
The aquascape stuff is. Yeah. We have it at the warehouse. I don't know if it's still on the website, but...
we need to get some here so we can pop some in.
Yeah. I'll text Ken.
Okay.
I like it. It clears stuff up real quick. I guess it's like you don't want to use it if you have fish. Oh. But if you have something that's sterile, like a fountain.
Yeah. It's fine for birds and stuff.
Yeah. Right. It doesn't kill.
That's the only thing that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Crystal said, love your videos. It has inspired me to do stuff to my garden. That is amazing to hear. Question, could you not use a pressure washer to clean the fountain bowls? Would that save the scrubbing time? Yeah, that would have been nice. How come I don't think of those things, Erin? I think of what is the hardest, most difficult, most dirty way to do it? And that's how I will do the job most of the time. And you're like, how can I just put some liquid in here? Because you drove by and you're like, if you just put some algicide in there, it'll clear it right up. That's what I do. I'm like, get out of here. I already had all the supplies out.
Well, you did a more thorough job for sure.
Because that stuff is still in there.
Yeah, and any of the muck would still stay at the bottom.
Yeah.
But it would at least clear up everything. So it probably need to be cleaned out.
That's right. Donna said, if you take out the fence, how much of it will come out? Just the little bit from the entrance on the right. We have a sign that says no trespassing kind of thing on the right. And then, you kind of enter the property. So it would be from that spot forward to where it ended by that weeping Alaskan cedar. I don't know how many posts that was. Was it 6, 7, 8?
Yeah, they were a lot of them were different lengths too. We were talking about that as when it got to the end. They were 8-foot lengths, and then they started going to 7.5, 7,
really?
6. Yeah.
Raylee said, I don't understand why the gateway is not attached to a fence on either side. What is the purpose of having it float out on its own? There's no security and it just seems odd to me. Yeah, I get that. It definitely is floating out on its own. And we thought about doing brick wings. We thought about doing several different things. And now that the fence is gone, the brick wings would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But we were trying to work within that fence that was there. And anyway, we are planning on doing a living fence. So we've got the plants on order. And so while today it does look kind of oddball, it won't in the future.
Yeah.
And security wise, our whole fence is not a security fence all the way around our proproperty.
Yeah, it's not like we have barbed wire.
Our surveillance is pretty top notch. So you enter the property, we're going to know it.
Yeah.
Security wise, I'm not super worried about that because adding something right there wouldn't add to any kind of security. Deborah said, if you want red twig dogwood for the winter, why not plant them there? Install some lights that face up. That's what I was telling you. It would be beautiful to have some red twigs with some uplighting. I think that would be gorgeous. We'll figure it out. We might add some of those in there. I also like yellow twigs an awful lot. They are so pretty. And if we have the reddish brick and then we had some yellow twig going on, that would be pretty as well. We do have some red twig right to the left as you come in the property, right behind the mail hut there. I don't like calling it a hut.
House.
Mail house. Dang. I don't know why I keep doing that.
I've been pretty good about calling it the mail house.
Mail house. Okay. I need to retrain my brain. Lori said, for the fountain, could you put copper tubing around the bottom of each bowl? I've seen chicken farmers who do this for their chickens' watering stations to keep them free of algae.
Yeah, you could maybe copper would work.
I've never heard of that, but that's something to look into.
The algicide works pretty good too.
Cheryl said, could you possibly consider putting a larger variety of boxwood whose leaves match closest to the smaller ones, closest to the side of the brick pillars, then step down to the smaller ones you have set out? It would give a gradual or gentle slope from the sharpness of the brick pillars down to the shorter plantings.
We're going to kind of do that except for North Pole arbs.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of did that on the east side of the barn. I have 2 freedoms at the start, and I'm going to keep those in more sphere, and then I have independence coming off of them. Mm-hmm. One, because I didn't have enough independence. I was too short. And I thought, well, I'm gonna make this work. And we're gonna do 2 freedoms. We'll keep those as more of like larger structural pieces, and then the rest of them will be shorter. Life by the Bow River said, question, what is the brand name of that pump, please?
I don't know. I think we answered this in the last recap. Just Google whatever brand name of batteries you have, because it comes without a battery. You know, if you're a DeWalt family or a Milwaukee family or a Ryobi family, just Google transfer pump Ryobi or DeWalt or whatever. And then you can find the one that uses the batteries that you already own.
That's super handy.
Yeah.
Next video is high tunnel tour and maintenance. I did a quick trip down to the garden center because I took some tubs full of blueberries down there, and I picked up some hardy geraniums while we were there. And then I planted some of the heirloom mums finally that I bought last year. And that was just a project that needed to be done, much like this room. I mean, should I show them what it looks like?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think people would want to know. Where's my phone?
It's such a mess.
It is. It's just like things just get put
Out of
everywhere.
control.
Maybe I will do a video. Maybe on one of these hot days, we can just spend some time in here. And I don't know how you guys feel about that type of project, but it is stuff that I need to get done, kind of like this one. And sometimes it's nice just to be able to share that part. So I also gave you a tour of what we had back there, because I noticed when we got that shrub load in, one of you guys was like, I'm just trying to see in the high tunnels to see what you still have in there. And I thought, you know what, well, let's just do a little tour and I'll show you what things look like this time of year, what we still have. And it's always like there's constant in and out of stuff in there. And a lot of times, like with the mums, I just decided to release more than half of the mums that I bought, because I've got a friend who actually has a flower farm, and she's been wanting to put in some more perennial type things. And so I thought, this is perfect. She can use them. It will benefit her big time. Then I don't have to find a spot for all these things, because sometimes you buy things and then you just like the plans didn't pan out. We were going to put raised beds in the high tunnel.
Especially in our line of work.
Yeah, things just change a lot. And yeah, anyway, I was thankful that she could use those. I was thankful my mom wanted the galvanized tubs. The things that we have here, I can usually find homes for. So hardly anything actually goes to waste that leaves our property, which makes me feel good. Kathy Smith said, I'm interested in purchasing a high tunnel. Where did you get yours?
Grower Supply is where we got the one behind us, the one that we have heated, and then and they sell like everything. And then the high tunnels that we have that we store stuff in, more like temporarily, those are from Farmer's Friend. Both are great options.
Yeah.
I think you'll spend a little bit more if you go with Grower Supply, but not Gardener Supply. Grower Supply, different company. They have more options though. I mean, you can do anything with Grower Supply in terms of any size or whatever. And Farmer's Friend is a little bit more cater. They just have a specific number of things, but they have good pricing. So
check them both out.
If one of the things that you need is like a high tunnel like we have, what do they call those? Like a season extender?
Yeah, and it's a Gothic arch. You can get like the traditional hoop, or you can get the Gothic arch shape.
Yeah, they're mostly not intended to be heated or things like that.
Yeah. Gardening Newbie said, where do you get the big bags of Biotone? I've only seen the small bags like you sell in your online store. My parents' garden center sells the big bags.
Yeah.
A lot of people do around this area. Yeah.
Just got to find somebody that brings them in.
Yeah. And is there like a locator on their website, Espoma?
Yeah. You know, we have ordered through Ace Hardware before.
Yeah.
Because they are a supplier of Espoma. And we've bought stuff through them, like on their website, and it just gets shipped to the store. You go pick it up. So maybe try that if you can't find a garden center.
Linda said, woke up feeling really funky today, and seeing you was just what I needed, and your mom was an added bonus. That makes me happy to hear. Those kind of days, they just come around, don't they, every once in a while, where you just kind of wake up feeling off.
Yeah.
Those days are always such a bummer. I'm glad there was something that helped you, though. The feeling of getting things cleaned up and completed is so good, and that is so true. What is the name of that bush type sour cherry? Nothing compared to a fresh sour cherry pie or cobbler, none of that stuff in a can. So they're easy as pie tart cherries. And you can use them ornamentally, but they're also fruit-bearing shrubs, cherry shrubs, which is so amazing. We don't have a cherry tree in our orchard. I opted not to put a cherry in there because they typically take so much maintenance in terms of insect stuff, keeping the worms out of them. And I'm having that much issue with my apples too. I should just put a cherry in. But I thought this is going to be kind of the perfect alternative because they're small. I can use them as an ornamental out there in the dirt lands. They're going to be beautiful in the spring when they bloom. And then we can get a few tart cherries off of them. They're much more manageable to spray, and I can also toss netting over those much easier to keep the birds out than I could a larger orchard tree. And I think they're new this year or next year, one of the two. Pre-Rana Galsasi said, question for recap. Can you recap us all on the grape tree experiment right from beginning when you planted those stick plants to fruits? Were they exposed to snow/weather, or did they live in the high tunnel all along? What fertilizers did you give them, and how often, and how much water? I can cover all of that. Probably not here, but in a video, maybe here soon, because they are beautiful and they're full of fruit. Let me just say it's been a really low maintenance project. Last year, we planted them in the spring. I had to prune them like 5 times during the summer because grapes grow pretty quickly. They didn't bear fruit last year. Didn't expect them to. We moved them to the high tunnel, and they sat at the edge of the high tunnel for the winter. So they did have a little protection. They weren't in heat. They went completely dormant. It was like, what does it keep it? 10 to 20 degrees warmer in a high tunnel than it is outside. So, I mean, we got down to, we had a couple days that were 0 this last winter. So it was way below freezing even in the high tunnel. And then I just decided we got too late in the season really to bring them out, and we had some really bad windstorms, and I kind of started to feel nervous for them because they were starting to put on fruit. And the longer I left them in there, the more I thought, no, I just need to keep them back there. And they're on the edge. They're still getting wind right there on the edge, but not as much as they would if they were out. But they've been wonderful, and I'm super excited to show you guys the end result. Kathy said, where do you source the high tunnel shade cloth? From the same places, right? Dana Young said, I've noticed in the background of a few videos, 45-minute mark of this video, those tall boxwoods you planted along the fence line of your parking area by the dumpsters. It's been over a year since you planted them. How are they doing? They look like they're all different heights. Have they struggled?
Yes.
Erin, I feel like this is I'm like hands off this project. I kind of like washed my hands of that one. I don't know why. I look at that as yours.
I thought about it actually the other day. Because we were placing an order through Walla Walla. And I looked to check and see if they had any of those boxwoods. What's the name again?
I think Green Tower. I think.
So we got to get our hands on a few more of them.
A few more? Or like 25 more?
Really?
There's so many of them that are dead in that line.
10? You think it's more than that?
I think it's probably 15.
Why do you think that they struggled?
I think that they're not getting enough water.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I don't know what you guys ran for water, if there's 2 lines or if there's just 1 line.
There's 2 lines.
But I noticed that toward the end of the line is where you're losing more of them.
Yeah.
And so I think the flow or whatever, there's not enough of it toward the end, and they're stressing out down there. But I don't know because I haven't investigated it. I'm sure they got spider mites last year, too.
Maybe. Do we replace them or do we just pull all of them?
Depends on what you want to do. I'm completely whatever on
You just
that
don't
one.
care?
Nope.
Huh. Maybe I'll pull them then.
You can find a home for the good ones.
Oh.
I don't know. I feel like they're a little bit on the mangy side.
Well, I was hoping that they wouldn't be once they got trimmed.
Yeah, and maybe they just need that and replace them and we can try again one more time.
Yeah.
It might be worth it because the ones that are still alive haven't put on so much growth that they'll be so super uneven.
Sure.
And you can trim them all the same too.
Yeah.
Jane said, love the hour video. I have a question about the high tunnels. Many of the plants need full sun. How does that work with high tunnels?
It's pretty bright in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it like 30% that we have the shade cloth?
And it's not intended for them to be... they don't love the high tunnels in terms of staying there, but it's fine for a couple months until they get planted.
Right. And there are some things that we leave outside the high tunnels on purpose so that they're like completely acclimated to outside. But when plants are in containers, some things are really hard to keep wet, especially if they're exposed to the full sun and or the wind out there. So if you can provide a little protection from those things, they don't dry out as quickly, so they don't suffer as much from that. So you kind of have to weigh, what you want from that. And there are some things that I will just leave in there knowing that I can't even plant them until it's cooled off in the fall because they will not hack it. Like I've got some Stokecia. It's a Stokes Aster. It's a new variety. There's no way I would plant them out right now when it's hot because they struggle even when it's cool just to get rooted in. Once they're rooted in, they're great. But in my experience, planting them out when it's warm-ish, they wouldn't hack it. So that's just going to stay in there. They don't look awesome. They may not even make it into a video project. I don't know. I just might toss them out somewhere at some point once it's cooler. Robin said, you always rave about your Walla Walla and candy onions, so I thought I would try growing some here in Germany. Can't seem to find candy onion seeds though, so looking for a plan B. How does sweet Spanish compare to candy or anything else that might replace candy? Oh, I am not the best one to ask about that.
You know about candy and candy only.
Well, I grow yellow sweet Spanish and they're really good. I don't know if that's the sweet Spanish that you've got. And I would say they're pretty comparable, honestly. They get big, nice big bulbs and they're nice and sweet. So maybe you're on the right track. Okay, and then the next video is removing the front fence and planting new tart cherries, grasses, and more. Okay, so after the first video, when we talked about the placement of the plants, most all of you guys said, leave the fence, leave the fence, leave the fence. I would leave the fence. And I was like, ooh. Because by the time that one went out, we had already removed the fence. I'm like, ooh, I wonder what you guys are going to think when we actually did remove the fence. And then I was so pleasantly surprised when I was looking through the comments, and there were several like, hey, I was in the camp of leave the fence, but now I see it. I think it looks way
Which is
better.
interesting because I actually think it looks worse now.
Oh, I don't.
I think it looks worse today.
Sure.
I think we're on the right track. I
Yeah.
would still do it again. I would still take it out. But, sometimes you have to do that. You have to keep like peeling things away until you get to the blank slate that you're kind of looking for, and then you can build back.
Well, it's kind of like having the gate to look like it's floating out there alone.
Yeah.
But we know that we're going to be coming in with this big evergreen wall around it. So we know in the end it will be good, and you have to make those decisions that are kind of weird or that might make it look worse to you in the now.
Interim. Yeah.
But I actually, when I first saw it, I'm like, yes. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Sure.
And while the fence, it provides that like no change. I'm not a huge fan of like a ton of change. So, I don't know, having it there made it feel cozy. It provided some separation, but it was also what we kept literally running up against with everything.
Yeah.
Like had that not been there when we had the brick pillars made, we probably would have done wings.
You think?
Probably. Which would have, I don't want them now. I mean, it wouldn't be bad now, but I don't need them now because I think the arbors are going to be really pretty. But yeah, it just kept being that bottleneck to every single thing we kept trying to do up there. So when I saw it gone, I was like, oh yes. Yeah. Anyway, Jamie said, as a hydrangea lover and one that also has to treat them for chlorosis, do you have to treat all your hydrangeas for chlorosis? And how often do you do that? Not all of them.
No, not all of them.
But some of them.
And sometimes it's from year to year. Like
Sure.
a certain hydrangea won't have an issue for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then will.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And then we try to do, if it's a problem, like I notice the sublimes are a little bit susceptible. And so we do a weekly chelated iron until we start to see a reversal of the issue, until it looks better. And we got it on top of it early this season. Then we kind of like relaxed, and now they're starting to show it again. Yeah. So we're going to have to start in on treating that, or we have started in treating that. But like Limelight Primes, Quickfire Fabs, I have can't remember what it's called. I have Firelight Tidbits, Quickfire, the little ones. Mm-hmm. Limelights, Little Limes. Those haven't needed it. I'm trying to think if there's any more, but I don't think so. I do have one Firelight out in the garden that last year was chlorotic and this year is not.
Oh, huh.
So.
Well, I wonder if sometimes it sticks around, that iron sticks around in the soil
long enough to.
Yeah, for maybe a year or two, because you treat it weekly for a while, and it doesn't all go out. It sticks around.
Yeah. Keisha, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Does the Strawberry Moon Catalpa smell as good as the El Nino? It's beautiful. It's not quite as strong in the fragrance department, but it does smell good. I don't smell it as we're driving by Catalpas.
I haven't noticed the Catalpas being as fragrant this year.
Serious?
Yeah, as years past.
When I'm doing the evening rounds for watering, when I drive by the back of the pond berm right here, it's just, it almost hits you in the face. Yeah. Maybe you got to be there right at the right time.
Yeah, maybe.
But oh my goodness. And then I noticed it. I was rolling around the south garden. It's always when it's really warm, like that's when the scent really permeates. But also the Nemesia in front of the stream, that Aromance Pink, I think is what it's called. Amazing annual for scent, and that's completely perfuming the area as well. Sharon said, is the Catalpa like a crepe myrtle? No. Nope, they are completely different. We can't grow crepe myrtle here. Finger Lakes Memories said, will the arborvitae and the spruce grow at the same rate? Possibly replace the arborvitae with a new spruce so that years from now they will still have the symmetry with each other. That's what I wanted to do, was have Nathan come with his big spade and move to the arb and then pick out another spruce that matches the other one.
But we can't.
Because of all the stuff in the ground.
Yeah, there's way too much. I mean, anything can be done, but are you going to, replace everything? Because you're gonna break all that stuff.
Yeah.
When you do it, like, is it worth it?
Well, you just broke all that stuff, so
no,
maybe it's my turn to break all that stuff.
Because you'd be breaking electrical, 2-wire, and multiple sprinkler lines and water.
Back where the arb is?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying the spade would hit that.
Would it really?
Yeah.
I thought it was closer to where the grass was. The arb set back from the fence quite a lot, quite a ways.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Maybe.
It's probably not worth it. But I would love to.
To me, that it doesn't, I don't know, that kind of symmetry doesn't bother me at all. It's the symmetry right around the gate that is important.
That's crazy to me.
Because obviously nothing is symmetrical away from that.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, that's
When
true.
you start moving away from the gate, everything starts to... So to me, once you're 20 feet away, we don't have a mail house on the other side.
No, but we could. And then we could have we could have a couple people up there.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Yeah. So to me, it's just... I don't know. It doesn't even clock in on my radar as something to care about.
Terry said, as you talk about different zones of your property, i.e. South Lawn, dirt lands, would you be willing to show us an aerial view or drawing to show us where each of their names are? You say them on each video, but it's difficult to imagine what you're talking about.
We did a video this last winter, right? Where you went through all the areas.
Was it this last winter?
Or maybe the winter before. But
We might need to update it.
We may need to update it. The only thing maybe it doesn't include is the dirt lands, which encompasses kind of a huge area.
But the North Garden, because we just bought that
maybe
this
it doesn't
year.
include that too.
That was a this year project, right?
Well, let's do another one this winter.
winter?
It's a good winter project.
Yeah. Isabel said, what do you do about bindweed in your lawn? I saw the flowers in the new sown patch. That natural iron-based selective herbicide you applied earlier in other areas does not work for bindweed. So any tips? I'm battling bindweed in the lawn, but I don't want to use the usual inorganic selective herbicides.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
I don't think
I have to agree with that.
Pulling it's not going to do anything.
We've tried.
Yeah.
We've tried the organic options for bindweed, and it's just a tough weed.
I mean, I think it's totally reasonable to just use the organic stuff on the things that it works for.
Yep.
And then when you got to pull out the big guns, you pull out the big guns. But having an approach where you don't bring out the big guns for everything.
Right.
I think
It's
that's
a balanced approach.
Yeah, it's a reasonable thing to just bring out what you have to bring out when you have to do it, but not for everything.
Right. Yeah, and we've tried. We've tried, we went so far as to use biologicals for insect control for 2 years, trying to control mites and thrips instead of using even the organic options for sprays. We wanted to see, can we handle this, or can we, take after this problem using bugs to battle bugs so that we're not spraying a dang thing in our garden.
Right.
It doesn't. Unless you have a monoculture, in a very protected space, it's not gonna work. It didn't work for us.
I've heard it works great for growers.
I'm sure in enclosed areas where they can't get out.
Yeah, the mites can't get away.
Yeah, here they can go wherever they want.
Yeah.
Or in hops fields, they use them a lot in hops fields because you've got a monoculture. There's one type of plant, and usually they're treating spider mites, so they put in a different kind of carnivorous mite that goes after those bad spider mites, and they have a huge food source all in one spot. But our garden's so spread out, and we have got issues in so many different areas that it just didn't work. So we tried that for 2 years, and I feel like we
gave it a go.
Sacrificed our garden for 2 years, honestly. Yeah. And then you realize you just got to do what you got to do, in your space. That will work. Most of the time we can get by with an organic option, except for bindweed and puncture vine.
Yeah.
Casey Farmer said at 1620 or so, you were planting around the kids' pond area with the grasses and they were terribly root bound. Is cutting the bottom the best way to go about it? And you didn't do anything to the other one. Is it okay to do that? I cut the bottom off both. It probably got edited out. I mean, will it grow okay or be stunted? I'm just wondering because I have a couple of carex grass that have roots like that, and I think I need to put them in the ground this year. They're in pots. Thoughts? Yeah, you can cut the bottom off. I do that a lot for something that's root bound all the way around and on the bottom, and that usually does it. Or you can just take like a box cutter or your pruners and just make slashes around the root ball every few inches or so, and that usually does it as well. Last group of questions is from last week's recap video. Susan said, what electric hand pruner do you recommend? So we have the DeWalt electric or battery operated hand pruner, and it works really well. I'm a little bit afraid of it because it's so powerful and it could happen, an accident could happen so quickly that
you should never use it in a situation where you're grabbing things
and pruning. Nope.
Should only ever use it like one hand behind the back.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. And like if my kid, well, even if the kids aren't around and they don't mess with stuff, they're good kids. They know what they should be messing with and what they shouldn't be messing with. But even then, I keep the battery off the tool and away from it. Like I just don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to live with myself if something happened, but they are super handy in the right situation. Debbie said, my bag of plantain got some water in it. Now it's damp. Ooh, is it still good for use? You can use it. They start to stink really bad if you keep that around. So I'd go out and get rid of that. Usually it kind of clumps up almost like cat litter. Like go spread that piece of that clump up out somewhere in your garden.
I think it's probably still usable.
Yeah. Connie said, bought my first auger. I'm actually excited for bulb planting this fall. How many bulbs are you going to plant? I'm so happy that you're excited and honestly, the auger will be a game changer and it'll make bulb planting
It'll make it like halfway fun. If you're doing a reasonable amount of bulbs, it'll make it a fun job to do.
And I think my order is not near as big as it has been in the past. Like I think one year I planted 13,000 bulbs or something like that.
Oh, really?
12,000 bulbs. And I think I'm planting like between 7,000 bulbs this year, something like that. Yeah. Terry said, what happens if you're not in the country and Paul has a big water issue? Would he or someone else know where the lines are? Oh, if we're not in the country and Paul has a water issue, well, that probably would never happen because I like to stay home. We don't go very many places very often. Paul knows what to do. I have 100% confidence in Paul.
Well, there's people we can call too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like our pump guy, lives down the road, and that dude, every time I contact him, well, not every time, he's been out of the area a couple times, I guess. But most of the time, he's like, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And,
really helpful.
Yeah.
Vicky said, isn't Jack Barnwell from Florida? I believe he has YouTube videos in Florida. We were talking about...
I don't think he actually has like landscape videos in Florida. And I also don't know how much time he's mostly there in the wintertime. He splits his time. So he's not a full-time Florida person. And most of the stuff that I see him doing there is like feels like it's more on the commercial side. And he's doing like big pots for people and stuff like that. It's not like he's doing big landscape jobs in Florida. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the vibe that I get.
I don't know.
I actually called Jack about an idea.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out. But he's game.
You guys will love it. I don't know though. I don't know if we'll have time to get our act together by it'll be a next year thing. But maybe the year after. I don't know.
I think we could do it next year. We do have to get our act together.
Yeah, because it involves a lot of different people.
It would involve
us
and Jack and Greg.
And companies.
Yeah. It'd be big.
That button is the squeakiest button of all the buttons. Aaron's messing with this button. I can hear it from over here.
It just gives me something to do while
you're standing there.
Talking.
Sabrina said, do you have any future plans of releasing a gardening book of your gardens? I collect gardening books from Martha and Sarah Raven, and I'd love adding one from you, Laura. I know I'm not alone in this. Please consider it. It's really sweet that you would say that. I don't think our garden is at a level yet to where we could have a book at this point.
I don't know. I think it'd be fun.
There's some pockets, but I feel like we need to have more maturity in our space. See how these plantings pan out in the end before we do that. I don't know. We've been approached several times about doing that. And I know a lot of you guys have asked, do a calendar or I don't feel like I ever have my act together, like taking pictures specifically for projects.
Yeah.
And at this point, I don't think I could add another thing to my plate.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
But if somebody came along that was like, that knew how to do a book, I guess. We probably could do it ourselves. It'd just be something you got to look into, because you don't need a publisher. You know, we have our own store. We could just sell it ourselves.
Yeah.
I guess distribution would be an issue, because like it wouldn't be in Walmart. It wouldn't be in Barnes and Noble if we were self-publishing. But we could sell it ourselves.
Yeah, the thought of writing a book or having a book.
But having like a coffee table book would be a lot
Coffee
easier.
table, yeah. I like to read books a lot.
Yeah.
I read a lot of books, but like being involved in making one, I don't know.
Yeah. Writing definitely doesn't seem like it's up your alley, but a coffee table book that's, you know, larger photos and less words.
Maybe. But even then, I don't know. There's different times of the year, though. If you would ask me that, I'd consider it more. Like in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if you saw the state of this room, you would know why. Like there's just not enough space in my brain for everything as it is. Not that I'm complaining. I like my life. I've got a good life. I like how things are going, and I wouldn't change it, really. So.
But adding more
wouldn't be a good idea.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep. And you guys, that is it for today's video. Don't forget about the giveaway. So again, we are giving away 10 of the Garden Answer bundle called Summer Harvest.
Heart of Summer.
Heart of Summer.
You got that harvest in your...
I know. I don't know why. It's harvest on the brain. So 5 of them will be picked from the comment section of this video, not on Facebook. If you're watching this video on Facebook, do we post these on Facebook
No, it
anyway?
won't even be on Facebook.
Never mind then. So just make sure you're on YouTube, putting a comment under this recap video, and we will choose 5 of you. And then the other 5 will come from joining our email list. And if you're already part of the email list from our store, you're already signed up. So again, we'll have a link down below if you want to do that. But if you don't, I totally understand. I don't like signing up for email stuff. So I just want to make sure there's always an option where you don't have to.
Sure.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching this recap video. I hope you're having a great start to the week, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.